All right, guys, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you two examples. We're going to write the equation for a line that passes through the point 12, 15, and is parallel to y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Also, the equation for the line that passes through the point -4, -17, and is perpendicular to y equals 2/3 x minus 1. So first of all, parallel, when I think of parallel, I need to remember that parallel lines have the same, slope. Now, please forgive me. It's really hard to write, talk, and hold this at the same time. And you guys know I'm not good at multitasking. Okay, parallel lines have the same slope. So we want to go to our y equals mx plus b format for this. It's not too difficult to do this in slope-intercept form. All right, hopefully we remember from algebra that our slope is m in this equation. So we know that the line that we're writing the equation for, it's going to be similar to this first equation. We're going to have y equals 2/3 x. The thing that's going to be different is our y-intercept. The y-intercept, our value of b, that's what's going to be different in our two equations. Okay, now we know that the point 12, 15 has to lie on this line. We can use that point to figure out what our y-intercept is. So to do that, we want to substitute 12, which is our value of x, with x in this equation. We're going to substitute 15 with y, and then we're going to work backwards and solve for b. I apologize about my cat meowing. He really loves algebra. Okay, let's take this. So we said 15 is our value of y. This is equal to 2/3 times 12, because 12 is our value of x, and then we still have our plus b here. Okay, don't panic about that fraction and that whole number. That's why we've been practicing fraction operations in our warm-ups. So if I have 2/3 of 12, I could just ask myself, what number is 1/3 of 12? And hopefully I'm going to realize 4 is 1/3 of 12. So if I have 2/3, it's like I have 2 4s, which is the number 8. Now, you're going to have to do some of these on your own, and if you don't think you can walk yourself through that process, let's just multiply. When I do this, I turn 12 into a fraction, 12 over 1. 2 times 12, 24. 3 times 1, 3. When I simplify, I get 8. So no matter how you think about it, 8 is the number that's 2/3 of 12. So if I copy this over here, I now have the equation 15 is equal to 8 plus b. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. And I'm going to be left with 7 is equal to b. I know I didn't leave myself a lot of room here. All right, so I found out that my y-intercept of my parallel line is 7. So now all I have to do is substitute that for b back in this equation. And my final equation is y equals 2/3 x plus 7. All right, real fast, if we want to check our work, make sure that this point is on that line. Again, substitute substitute 15 for x. 2/3, excuse me, sorry, not 15, 12. 2/3 of 12 we said is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. So it checks out. They have the same slope, you know they're parallel. Okay, the good news is a lot of that is the same for the perpendicular lines. The only thing we have to really remember is that perpendicular lines have slopes that sometimes we'll refer to as opposite reciprocals. Opposite refers to different signs, so positive versus negative. Reciprocals, remember reciprocals are numbers that have a product of 1. We remember that with fractions, it's really easy to make reciprocals because you may flip the fraction. Just don't get that mixed up with the definition of reciprocal. Okay, so let's take our slope 2/3, same equation. The reciprocal of 2/3 is going to be the number 3/2. Excuse me. Since 2/3 is positive over here, I know that 3/2 has to be negative. So when I go to write my slope, I'm going to have y equals -3/2 x. And I still have that problem that I had up here that I don't know what my y-intercept is. And it matters. It can't just be any number. It's got to be the right y-intercept that's going to cause this line to go through this point. But from here on out, it's pretty much the same as what we did up there. We've got our slope, they're opposite signs, one's positive, one's negative. They're reciprocals, 3/2 times 2/3 equals 1, so I know they're reciprocals. All right, let's take our point, -4, substitute that for x. And then we're going to take our point, -17, substitute that for y, and we get this equation. Oh, it's okay, we've got fractions. So guys, if both our fractions are negative, know that their product is going to be positive. We really don't have to worry about those negatives. Two negatives, their product is positive. We do need to multiply 3/2 times 4. I could talk myself through it and I could say, what number is 1/2 of 4? Hopefully the number that comes to mind is 2. So if I have 3/2, it's like I have 3 2s or the number 6. However, if I'm more comfortable just multiplying, I can do it this way. 3 times 4, 12. 2 times 1, 2. 12 divided by 2 is the number 6. All right. So now when I go back here, I've got 6 plus b on the right side of my equation. I still have -17 on the left. Okay, from here, I'm just going to subtract 6 from both sides. I know my 6 and my b kind of look similar. When I do that, -17 minus 6, remember that's the same as saying -17 plus -6. So that number is going to become more negative. We're going to get a -23 here. -23 is our y-intercept. So when we go to write this equation, if we did all of our math correctly, we already knew our slope had to be -3/2. And now I could either write plus -23 or just -23. Now, one more time, if we want to make absolutely sure that this point is on this line, I can just kind of mentally check it using these two values. So again, -3/2 times -4, I know that's going to be a positive number. -3/2 times 4, well, 1/2 of 4 is 2, so that's going to be +6. 6 minus 23 is, in fact, -17, and that's what I get for my y value. All right. I hope this is helpful to you. Let me know if you need more help with this in class.